Salute to all the real ones out there. It's your boy Mike coming at you again with another video. Y'all like the content that I've been dropping? I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos with anybody you think may benefit from them, alright? Now, I apologize to y'all for the brief hiatus. You know, I had some things going on, some stuff that I had to take care of where at the end I didn't really want to come into the video without being able to give you that normal energy that I provide. So, my apologies for not coming consistently like I've always been planning to, right? But we're not gonna let that stop the train. I'm gonna go ahead and hit y'all with today's topic, which is Vegeta. All right, Vegeta. Now, if y'all know anything about that character, it's basically a fictional character in the Japanese cartoon Dragon Ball franchise that was created by Toriyama in 1984. All right, so that was a cartoon I used to watch quite often back in the day, and even as an adult, like I would say up until my mid 20s, if there was a good Dragon Ball series, I would actually sit back and watch it as if it was any other form of entertainment. I like that cartoon, but Vegeta is basically the prince of an extraterrestrial warrior race known as the Saiyans. He's extremely arrogant, proud, and hardworking, constantly referring to his heritage and royal status throughout the series. He believed he should be regarded as the strongest fighter in the universe and becomes obsessed with surpassing Goku, who is another character, after losing his first battle with him. After Frieza's death, who used to be like an overlord over Vegeta, Vegeta later unites with the heroes to thwart greater enemies of the universe. Throughout the series, Vegeta's role changes from villain to anti-hero, and later as one of the heroes while remaining a rival to Goku. Alright, now, I'm not going to really get too much into the detail about Dragon Ball and what type of cartoon it was. Many people in my generation are probably hip to it because it was very popular in the United States. But I'm just going to talk about like how there are certain things that I liked about Vegeta that if you implement that into your regular life, you could probably see a lot of success. Vegeta on one side was looked at as like evil because that's really what he was. He was going around destroying planets with this guy named Frieza. And Frieza was basically a character who was much more powerful than all of the Saiyans. And Frieza actually killed Vegeta's father, who was the king of all Saiyans, right? But he took Vegeta since he was a young age and recruited him to basically carry out some of his evil deeds. So he was something like a henchman, you know, like think about like the mob, how you have these capos who are in charge of certain areas, and when given an order from the mob boss, they would go out and use their little squads to wreak havoc on whatever was the target of the operation. So it was like that with Vegeta. But when he comes to Earth, he actually winds up, long story short, challenging Goku, who is basically not of royal status, but came to Earth when he was very young, and he was supposed to destroy Earth. But basically he had a change of heart and grew up loving Earth and actually having children and all of this stuff, and he defended Earth whenever this, other enemies would come to try to destroy it. And in this process, Vegeta comes across Goku and actually loses his first battle to Goku, and from that point becomes obsessed with trying to surpass him in power, because Vegeta was always taught from a young age that he would be the legendary Super Saiyan. All right, and Goku basically reached that status before him, and Vegeta was always struck at how that could happen because Goku wasn't the prince. He was just some fallen, Saiyan. Now, some of the traits and things that Vegeta showed throughout the series are what make me consider him one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z characters. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna say about Vegeta is that he had useful rage and knew how to channel his anger. Like, this dude was often, very sarcastic and making snide remarks, and you could look at him like the quintessential bad guy, like the villain. But even when he was a villain, he displayed like a regal type of uh, personality, and he always channeled his rage in a way that would honestly make him come out stronger in the end. So, if you look about like yourself, you probably have a lot of anger from just life in general. If you're like me, then you definitely have anger, not only from the stuff you've experienced, but also from your level of awareness and understanding how the world works. So somewhere it kind of pisses you off knowing that everything you've been taught has been a lie. Now, if you can take that anger and use it when you, for example, work out, then it's actually useful anger. It's beneficial aggression that can push you to another level. Another thing I liked about Vegeta was that he was small in stature but was unbelievably powerful. And that's something that I like to have as my motivation when I work out. It's never been my goal to reach 215 pounds of just solid muscle. Like, I don't want that. That's not normal for my body, obviously, because when I think about myself, I've always been like tall and skinny. But my goal has always been to be very powerful and to catch people off guard with how strong I am at my size. So I'd rather focus on being lean and extremely strong versus, putting on this extra weight and walking around with the facade of strength, but losing speed, agility, balance, and coordination in the process. You know what I mean? So that's something I liked about Vegeta. He was real small, but this dude would flex on some of the biggest characters in the Dragon Ball Z series. Another thing about Vegeta was that he had a very cocky / arrogant attitude, but always exuded confidence. So there were some points I don't want to make Vegeta seem like he's some perfect character. I'm just talking about mainly his strengths. Of course, there were some times where he showed cowardice or, he did something that was very dishonorable and was self-serving. But for the most part, I liked his cocky attitude because when somebody's cocky, and they can actually, let's say, fulfill what they talk about, you can't do anything except for maybe hate on the cockiness, but the result always shows that they have a reason to be like that. So for example, let's say me and you go play basketball, but I'm talking shit the whole time, letting you know, dude, I'm gonna crush you, I'm gonna destroy you, this and that, you'll never be as good as me, da, da, da. But then I fucking beat you. Like it almost shows the knife that just that much deeper into your chest, because I not only beat you, but I also was talking shit while I did it. So that's going to do something to your psyche where if you ever play me again, I already have a leg up on you, even if I'm having a bad day that day. You see? So I liked how Vegeta used to kind of drive that home with anybody that he would fight. He would remind them, hey, I'm a prince of the Saiyans, and I'm better than you, I'm stronger than you, faster than you. Then he kick you in your mouth, and then it's like, damn, so the person who he was fighting would usually get real mad, and Vegeta would use that anger to drive him even further into the ground. So I thought that was cool from him. Another thing I liked about Vegeta is that he loved competing against formidable foes. Like if you weren't as strong as he thought you were, he didn't even really want to waste his time. It was kind of like, man, this is so, in German, they say Zeitverschwendung. Like, it's kind of like, dude, I'm just blowing time with you. So I'd rather not even entertain the idea of fighting you if you're not at least strong enough where I'll have a challenge. So that was cool from him because most people, in their weakness and their lack of strength, they tend to focus on easy targets, like bullies, for example. They'll go to the smallest, most nerdy kid and hold him upside down and shake the change out of his pockets. But when someone his size comes, he's normally intimidated and withdrawn and doesn't want to partake in the same activities that he found so cool before. But Vegeta was the opposite. If you were small and puny, he would just talk shit. But if you were big, then he would honestly rub his hands in excitement and try to get you riled up out of the desire to fight you. So I thought that was cool. One other thing about Vegeta that I like more about him than any other Dragon Ball Z characters, he was always serious with a masculine frame. Of course, he would throw a couple of, snide comments, like I said before, but for the most part, Vegeta was always focused on some type of mission. He didn't have time to just waste around, like, acting foolish. Like, Goku, for example, was stronger than Vegeta. But his disposition was sometimes annoying. Like, he was more being kiddish and joking around and acting immature, and then you could tell that made Vegeta almost sick to his stomach. Like, man, this dude is stronger than me, but he didn't even have like the confidence or the regal attitude that I exude all the time. So that's something I liked about Vegeta, because I see that even in the modern day world. Like, people tell me, "Oh, Mike, you think you a badass," or "Oh, you come in like Terminator." But I'm like, man, we kind of need at least a few people like me. When I look around and everybody's acting a goddamn jackass, is it okay for us to have at least one person who's a little bit serious, one person who's like maybe into politics and reading about the history, versus everybody just talking about what happened on Breakfast Club, or oh Gucci Man dropped a mixtape, man, that shit was fire, da da da. Like, everybody's talking about superficial stuff. We need more people that are a little bit more serious and driven by other things in life, right? Another thing that is admirable about Vegeta is that this dude always trained to the brink of exhaustion. And if you guys ever think about the book, The Ways of the Superior Man by David Deida, one of the things that he talks about is how men should live on their edge. So it's like you have a limitation right here. You should be like with your toes at the very edge of that limitation, trying to push forward. That's why I said in some of my videos, even with fitness, like, let's say you're at the gym, if you know you can do, I don't know, whatever weight, like let's say you can bench press your body weight, then you should put at least 2 kilos more on, just to see if you can, push past that. And then when you can get past that, then put 5 kilos on. And even if you get to the point where you reach a plateau, well, then try to do more of the said weight, do more reps. And that's exactly what Vegeta would do. Like, he would train to the point where like he's covered in sweat and breathing hard, but then would still push himself past that level. One other thing I identified with Vegeta was that he relied on nobody and was a true quintessential loner. Every time you see him in the series, he's by himself, usually training or doing something to get better at his craft. So you gotta admire that, man. I mean, we live in a day and age now where everybody's trying to be in a group. Everybody wants to hang out and kick back, and like there's this big emphasis on chilling all the time, which it makes me cringe knowing that everybody's always trying to chill. Yo, come on, let's link up, let's sit back and chill. Come on, man, let's have some drinks and chill. Like, whoa, what purpose are you on? Is there anybody pushing to become great? Oh, there is no one. Okay, well, fuck it, I'm gonna be that guy. And I'm gonna make another video about being misunderstood, because a lot of people misunderstand me, and it's like they want to keep me at a level that's making them feel comfortable. I'm like, no, fuck your level of comfort. I'm always gonna try to become better. Oh, but then you're not always happy. Well, life isn't always about just being happy. Life is somewhere about like trying to see what you're capable of. And if that's not how you think, then that's okay. There's 7 billion people on the planet. I'm not supposed to have the same mindset as everyone around. So I like how Vegeta embodied that. He was always, a loner and pushed for like what he was trying to achieve. And that goes straight into the next point, which Vegeta was obsessed with his purpose and had no distractions. Like I said, every time you saw this dude in the series, he would go like into this little chamber where you can make the gravity 3, 4, up to 100, 200, or even 300, 400 times more than gravity. So he would be in there training, doing push-ups upside down, with the gravity being like 500 times that of the normal gravity. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? But he would be in there training out of the obsession and the controlled anger of the fact that Goku made Super Saiyan before Vegeta did. So Vegeta had no qualms about going in that chamber, the hyperbolic chamber, and training to the point of exhaustion out of the desire to reach the level of Super Saiyan as well. You see what I mean? Another thing I liked about Vegeta that other characters did not have in their fucking psyche, which always caused problems. Vegeta had no mercy against threatening enemies, meaning that like when it was time for him to kill you, like he usually did not wait around and talk shit. Like only when he got later on in the series, when he got cocky about his power and thought fuck it, I'm gonna let you get to your last form. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna let you get to your last form. Then I want to fight you for the challenge. That was foolish because what would happen would be, let's say Cell. There was a character named Cell. Vegeta had the chance to kill him before he got so strong, right? But then, out of his cockiness, he let Cell evolve to his last form. And what happened was, that form of Cell was too strong for Vegeta, and Vegeta almost got everybody on the fucking whole Earth killed, But, by and large, like, if you look before that, when given the opportunity to kill you, like, he did it very proudly, I mean. He'll murk your ass. And you would never have a chance to really get a leg up on Vegeta in a fight. He would be on you until the point he destroyed you. And I like that because Goku would typically show weakness. The dude would be like on the edge of life and death, then Goku would just let him go. Like, nah. And what would happen would be he'll come back way stronger with a whole army and then wind up wreaking havoc on all the people on Earth. Another thing I liked about Vegeta, he had supreme knowledge of self and acted accordingly. So meaning, like, he was a prince, and he always kept that in his mind. Even, like, years later, when he became on the same team of the Dragon Ball Z fighters and was no longer a villain, he still used his knowledge of self to always basically act accordingly. He never acted foolish and goofy. He always acted like a prince, which I found cool. And the last part was Vegeta embraced his dark side or his shadow. He even embodied his shadow character before, and then later on kind of started to understand that life isn't always about training and being the most strongest person on Earth. But he embraced that side, which many of us don't. So those are things I like about Vegeta. Like, comment, subscribe, holla back.